In this brand new podcast produced by the Sankofa London Schools Project and Black in the City of London, Year 9 students from Alleyn School in Dulwich talk about what they have learned from taking part in this project, a local history study that enables students to recover, explore and share the hidden histories of people of colour living and working in London 300 years ago. The study shines a light on a specific group of pioneering individuals known as freedom seekers, Britain's first black resistance activists, men, women and children who freed themselves from captivity by running away. Many of whom joined a global majority community in London that numbered well over 20,000 by the 1800s. A group of individuals that played a crucial, active role in the demand for abolition. The Sankofa London Schools Project would like to thank the students, teachers and parents at Alleyn School for their participation and ongoing support, Lambeth Palace Archives and Charmaine Simpson for their inspiring recent contributions, and Jonathan Goddard for producing the podcast.
Freedom seekers are enslaved people trying to free themselves from captivity by running away.
And we found a lot of these people through newspaper adverts.
So we used historical websites and archives.
And we also used newspapers and maps.
The politics of class, race and gender overlapped in the 18th century. And at the top of the tree stood white rich men, and at the bottom the women that we studied.
These women were often supported by their working class communities. There's a severe imbalance in what we can find out about white wealthy men compared to the women we studied. We've added our research to Wikipedia pages.
I added Penda's story on the wiki page, British capture of Senegal, because that's where she'd come from.
And I added Christmas Bennett's story to the Slavery in Britain section on resistance.
What did you know about African and Asian people in Britain prior to the 20th century before you did this project?
One I found out about was Phyllis Wheatley. She was a poet and she could read in Greek and Latin.
I actually did not know that much. I knew about the Windrush generation and people fighting in World War One.
And I was aware that there were black people and other people of colour in England at this time. But after I've done this, I'm much more aware of the stories that have been uncovered of the enslaved and unenslaved people.
There was mostly, in the archives, there were mostly articles about like slandering the woman. But if you look further and you see their side, you can see that there was something quite shocking how like men used women and they objectified them.
Can you name some of the women that you found out about during the project?
Celia Alleyn, she was born around 1703. She was an enslaved woman. She was around 25 years old and she was a freedom seeker. So she escaped. I found out about her through archives and newspaper articles looking for her. I've been using the British archives to learn about her. I've put a picture together of who she is, and though there's still a lot that we still need to learn about her, and that may not ever be uncovered, we've learned all about who she is and how she escaped from the Jamaica Coffee House.
Well, I specifically studied Sarah Vernon. She was a young enslaved woman who ran away from Mary Vernon, believed to be the daughter of James Vernon Sr., whose wife was also called Mary, who was a clerk at the Supreme Court of Jamaica. Sarah Vernon ran away from her at the Fisher's warehouse in Tavistock Street, Covent Garden. She had an I and a V branded on her shoulders to indicate that she had belonged to a Vernon before coming to Britain.
Why do you think it's important to study these acts of resistance?
It's quite important as it shines a light on things that haven't been uncovered for many years, and it's quite interesting to find new information and say that you found that information. I think it's quite important because if you don't see two sides to the story, then you're closing yourself off from other things. I showed it to some friends and told them that there were enslaved women and that their stories were untold, and it's quite interesting to find out. It's also that they were quite strong and many were resistant to this.
It's important to learn about enslaved people because it's a really key part in British history in general and world history. And and this in general, because it really builds on our knowledge of how Britain has changed over the years and how it is the way it is today.
I think what shocked me was how little we still know. It's very interesting, everything that we've learned, but as I said before, we won't get a clear picture. I'd highly recommend doing one of these projects, and anyone who's keen on doing it, if you're midway through it and you're not finding any information, just keep going and make sure you're always cross-checking your sources, doing as much research as you can. And obviously you can't get through all of the sources. However, doing as much detailed research as you can will make a really good document